everybody! Welcome to another video. Here I'm going to be doing two things. The first will be part one of a series which is about a 18th century linen shirt. And the second will be, after I get through that, to share with you guys some interesting and exciting things happening in my life. This shirt is an 18th century men's linen shirt, a pretty sort of basic pattern. It's a rectangular construction, and hello kitty. It's one that I've kind of done a simple mock-up for before, but this will be a final shirt, and I'm going to be using a lot of much more careful construction methods when I'm doing it. So stay tuned for the first part of it, which is going to be mostly me discussing the pattern and cutting out the fabric and kind of talking through my plans. And then at the very end, I'm gonna tell you two pieces of information, but you have to watch first. Or you can fast forward, I won't judge you. See you at the end. This is the pattern that I'm going to be using for my 18th century shirt. I did kind of a rough draft earlier. You can see it over here. My construction was horrible. I was basically just whacking it together to see what would happen. Pretend this isn't here. This is not how this should be. It's not good, y'all, but it's fairly decent, and I learned a bunch. You can see here the pink lines are what I used to make that blue shirt, and the green alterations are what I'm going to make my final linen shirt out of. So it's pretty similar. I'm just making the sleeves a little wider so they poof up at the wrist more, and I'm making the body a lot shorter because I don't need it to be as long for modern use, and I'm reducing the width of the shoulders a bit. A few other small changes that I'm going to be doing are to make it a little bit more accurate to history, which is not usually my MO, but I think the construction methods will benefit from it. Instead of just cutting out triangles for the shoulder gussets, I'm going to cut out a square and fold them in half on the bias. That should make them stretchier around the shoulder. And I'm debating whether or not I want to do the armpit gussets. I actually took them out for the mock-up. I'm going to play it by ear. I didn't need them, and they just added extra bulk under the arm. So I'm undecided, so we'll see what happens with those. But as you can tell, it's that classic, rectangular construction method. And it went together pretty great when I did the mock-up, and I'm looking forward to doing it kind of for real here. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing better is the collar and the neck slit. The gathering will be in the front like it was before. The gussets will be a little nicer, and I'm going to do a proper collar, a rounded edge, and 2 buttons at the collar, at the neck. For the neck slit, I'm going to attempt, we'll see what happens, but I'm going to attempt to do a proper rolled hem by hand. Not a folded hem, a rolled hem. I've tried this in the past and I sucked at it, so I'm going to try to do better. And then I'm also going to try to do a little bit of a lace at the bottom of the slit to reinforce it a little bit with some buttonhole stitching across here. And this is a technique that was outlined on Vincent Briggs's blog. And if you don't already follow him on Instagram or read his blog, then you are missing out, because he is just a treasure trove of information here. Especially in kind of the menswear quote-unquote world, where there's not as much information available easily online as there is for women's quote-unquote wear construction. So here is the linen that I actually picked out. It's I got it from Mood. It's not perfect. There's some little bleps here and there. But overall, it's really quite nice. I like the colors a lot. I think it will go well with some of the other things that I'm planning on making. And I'm going to try to do the pulled thread method of cutting. Wish me luck. And actually, I'm already making some adjustments. So I marked out 32 here, and then I measured it against my body. And I think because this is the mock-up I did out of, it's a cat hair attractant, but it's also this double gauze, and it's so much thicker than the linen that I think I actually want to widen this up a couple inches so my gathers will be a little bit more pronounced. Over on the mock-up, the gathers were just way too much going on here, but I think without the bulk of the extra like thick fabric, it'll be nice rather than bulky. So I'm going to add a couple inches here, and then I'll obviously extend my, oh, where did it go? It's somewhere. Yeah, I'll extend my sleeve line a couple inches too. Okay, I'm going to attempt to draw a thread. I borrowed my partner's fancy little embroidery shears, and we're going to try this. I don't have any tweezers, so we're going to have to do it by hand. Here we go. So I'm just going to cut a tiny little snip. And see if I can fish out one thread. I can't. So, let's try this from the selvage edge instead. Moving over to the selvage, where I have another one marked. Okay. Here's my 60 inches for the body of the shirt. Aha! This is going to go better. Alright, I've got a thread here. Try to get just one. This would be easier if I had tweezers, but you know, I don't. Ah yes, here we go. Whoops, that didn't go well. So we're gonna try to just follow it here. Oh no, I lost it. You can see why you want tweezers, just to hold on to it better. Well, I'm not sure about this. This might have been a failed experiment. Okay, I failed to pull a thread, but because this is a checkered pattern linen, I should be able to basically cheat and just really carefully follow and mark off how far it is away from different check patterns. It won't be quite as like anal retentive accurate as pulling a thread, but it would be better than eyeballing it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is my absolutely favorite thing about these rectangular patterns is the complete minimal fabric waste. It's so efficient. So this is all of the crappy fabric I have left. And then, oh, these are my cuffs. After that, there's this nice little rectangular piece that I could use for something else. It's not like totally scrap. And we have a kitty modeling on here. Hello. This is Big Face. He has a big face. And a big yawn. So I'm just delighted I have all of this little fabric left. And I've cut everything out. Alright, that is everything cut out. So I have my 2 neck gussets, which will be folded like this and inserted around the neck slit, or the neck band. These are 8 centimeters square. I have my underarm gussets. I'm still undecided if I'm going to use these, but I figured I'd cut them just to be safe. These are 13 centimeters square. This is my collar band. For all of these measurements so far, I have been using measurements off of Vincent Briggs's blog and his shirt. But for this one, I ended up cutting it just a little bit longer because I'd rather have a little bit extra material than not enough. So we'll see how that goes. For this one, I ended up cutting it (17 inches) by 8 inches. Oh, we have a little kitty helper. Hello. And then the cuffs, I'm actually concerned I cut these too short. I kind of forgot about seam allowance when I was cutting them, so I only did 8 inches. So that's going to be, we'll see what happens. That's going to be maybe a mistake. I might have to correct that and cut new ones. I'm hoping not to, because historically they kind of went end to end. So if I'm really careful, I might be able to make it work. But we'll see what happens. I cut them also a little bit wider than were historical for that point in time, just because I prefer a little bit of a wider cuff. So I cut these 8 inches by 4 inches. Then I have the sleeves. Well, we'll see what happens. I might have to reduce these. I think I cut them too large. I did about 24 inches by 30 inches, and 30 inches might be far too voluminous, so we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, the body. And this was 60 inches by about 35 inches. So that's all the pieces. So we got body, we got sleeves, we got cuffs, we got neck, we got underarm gussets, and we have neck gussets. So those are all the pieces that we need to make a shirt. Part 2 of the video where I finish the shirt will be forthcoming. That's something that I'm actually saving to work on later. So I told you that I had 2 pieces of information for you, and that's true. The first is I really wanted to share with you guys that I participated in a panel about gender, non-conforming people, and trans people, and non-binary people for an event called CocoVid. If you are part of the costuming community, you probably already know about it, but I'm going to be sharing the link to where that is hosted in the description below. That is hosted on a different person's channel, Scribble and Stitch, and it was a really, really fun experience, and I really hope you guys enjoy watching it. It's a little bit long, just because it was kind of, question and answer style discussion type panel. But it was a really fun time to spend that much time with other costumers who are also non-binary and trans, and I hope that it's beneficial to some people. And lastly, the thing that I really, really want to share with you guys is that I have a surgery date. And not only do I have a surgery date, but it is only a few days away. I'm getting my top surgery on Monday. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from making videos, and you guys can look forward to the second half of this shirt video after I have recovered a little bit. So I don't really know how long that will be exactly. It's kind of whatever my body tells me, so stay tuned. But most importantly, thanks for watching and being here, and be queer and make stuff. Bye.